My name is Aaron Valed, author of the Barber Blueprint. It is the first book that I've seen that addresses the barber industry in a business way, tackling sales, finance, legal, long-term vision, burnout. The list goes on. You can find marketing books, you can find sales books, but you can't find sales books about the barber industry. Now, since I've released this book, I've noticed that there are other books, barber books out there. And so far in my whole lifetime, I've probably only read one. And it was written by Dr. Ty. It was a phenomenal book. But he's a barber that is also a businessman. Now, I'm super proud of this book because it took me 18 months to actually write it. But it took me like 40 years to live everything that you read in the book. So I don't go like, a lot of people ask me, is this a memoir? Is it like a self-help business book? It's kind of like all of the above, but it's like maybe 30% memoir. At first, what happened was I took all the technical stuff, everything that we have, well, not everything that we have in our Fade and Foot operations manual, and then try to, make a book out of it that would apply to other barbershops and things like that. But what I realized is that, like, we're writing a book, like a 200-page book like that, it has to be entertaining. And the only way for me to make it entertaining was for me to put the stories in there that actually led me. Oh man, what's happening with I'm trying to get the YouTube going, guys. I don't know what's happening here. But in order to make it entertaining and just not be like a bunch of facts, like I had to add the stories in there that led me to where I gathered the knowledge that I'm giving to y'all. So feel free to drop some questions in the chat. I had questions from my stories on Instagram that I copied to my notes, but I can't read my notes while I'm live. So you got to fire off the questions here while I get this YouTube going. This is the first time ever in life that I've double streamed on both YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. It was what separates
your barbershop from other barbershops? Not only in your hometown, but like around the world.
My barbershop from barbershops around the world.
Yeah.
So what I realized is that a lot of barbershops, most of them, I'd say maybe 80-90%, they're operating on an old school Stone Age linear system where people just walk in, they sit down, they wait, and then they get a haircut, they pay in cash, and then they leave. Now, when I opened my barbershop, not only did I want it to be a smarter shop where people could use transactions and everybody was united on how we accept money. Not one person used Cash App, one person used PayPal, one person used, we all accept the same point of sale processing system. But then I wanted it to be diverse. I wanted it to be a shop where somebody could walk in and then they could see a barber in the shop that could do their hair no matter what culture they come from. And I also wanted it to be a shop where people could come in and feel comfortable no matter what culture they come from. So those are two things that separate us as far as customer experience. When it comes to like internal affairs, we have fun and cool things that we do together as a team. I don't know about a lot of shops that do team building activities, like actually team building activities. Like you might have some that, three of these guys that go out to the club or these two girls that leave the salon and go get pedicures and stuff like that. But we do things as a team. We go to conferences together. We go get food together. And then we have meetings, frequent meetings, which is the foundation of why we are operating the way that we do. Is your plan to monopolize or open multiple barbershops within the Buffalo region? All right, so what I realized in B80 is that Buffalo is saturated. It's a red ocean of barbershops. A lot of barbers that I've met have they feel like customers have very low expectation. So with them feeling that customers have low expectation, then they're living and dying by the price. They're like, all right, just give me $10. All right, just give me $15. All right, just give me $20, right? I don't want to open another shop in an environment like that. So I would prefer to take an existing shop and grow it. If we acquire that shop, then, you know, obviously we'll have multiple shops. But to start a new shop from scratch, not sure if we have the stamina for that right now. Yeah, so this book right here, right? It took me 18 months to write it, right? And at first, I was thinking like, yo, why am I gonna write a book? Why am I gonna write a book? You know, is it really just to like show everybody like how smart and successful I am? Or is it really to help people? Is it really to like just say that I'm a book author? Or is it really to just like, you know, spread a message of, you know, the personal trials and tribulations that I've been through? I decided to like combine 3 of the 4 where it's like really like helping people, telling the story, because like opening up the barbershop, well, I was starting from the beginning. My purpose came from my pain. Not a lot of people know why I cut hair. When people ask me casually why I cut hair, you know, I always tell them like, you know, I couldn't get haircuts when I was a kid, so you know, I started cutting hair. That's the elevator. That's the elevator answer. The real story is like the pain that it caused me. The pain that it caused me, like it's still something that I have some issues with. Because like when we go through something for the first time, we may not have the tools in our toolbox to deal with it. But for me, at that point, you know, just getting bad haircuts, getting ridiculed at school, getting ridiculed in my neighborhood, like it really forced me to like work hard to never have to go through that again. But it made me create a skill. I didn't necessarily address the issue of like, yo, you know, like defending myself on my haircut, like it just killed me. I knew what they were saying was true. So that was why it bothered me. I knew my cut was messed up. I knew my clothes was messed up. I knew all of these things. But I had to work with the resources that I had available to me in order to work my way out of that situation. And what I learned from writing the book is that has been a pattern throughout life. It wasn't until recently, I would say maybe within the past 6-7 years, where I decided to find mentors, find people that have been through what I've been through, read books. Because in the barber industry, you go to a barber, in my early stages of barbering, and I talk about this in the book too. When I first started in this barbershop, I learned how to cut on my own. I started in the barbershop when the shop in my neighborhood gained some interest, right? I was thrown in the fire. They were just watching me die on cuts. They weren't like coming to me like, yo, young blood, this is how you cut, this is how you do this is how you do that, this is how you handle this is how you handle that. Like my onboarding process was just like come down and plug up. All right, so I guess we lost the YouTube, man. My laptop's acting up. Sorry, YouTube. Hopefully they come over to the gram. But that's been the case. That's been a pattern and trend throughout life, where I had to learn things on my own. And the book pretty much talks about that in every area. However, now that I have like a lot more insight on like life, business, now I can go back to some of the old lessons, the things that I learned when I was 20, and break it down in a way where it makes sense today. Break it down in a way where someone who's an aspiring barber won't have to go through what I went through in the barber game. I can talk about this barber industry for a long time. So fire some more questions so I'll give you some direct answers. I don't want to just beat around the bush with you guys. We got people on the live. It's Sunday morning. It's 9 a.m. I'm fresh off a party night. Yeah, ears ringing. I probably smell like smoke right now. Cologne and smoke with like 4 hours of rest. But I could not miss this live. I could not promise that I was going to do this for you and then not wake up and do it. There was no way that was going to happen. Also, something that I talk about the book, burnout, showing up when you don't really want to be there. Like I've talked to hundreds of barbers while writing this book. And a lot of them said that they wanted me to talk about burnout. Now, the best way to avoid burnout is to have a good lifestyle. To have discipline with your eating, making sure that you're putting the right foods in your body to fuel your body. I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's the real answer. Once you are doing that, then you got to prioritize rest. That is very important. I can't stress that enough. You got to prioritize rest. Many years in the barber game, I would go in survival mode. Yeah, come on, you next. Yeah, come on, you next. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. Yeah, come on. Yo, what's up? Yo, yeah, I got you. To the point where I was like cutting from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. Had no energy for my family. Not only did I miss family events and things, just to be there to get the money, but then like the next day, like I had no energy for my relationship, had no energy for myself. And at that time I was dealing with addiction too. So it was just a big mess. So you got to prioritize rest, prioritize nutrition, and also prioritize your ability to say no. You can say no. You can say, yo, I'm off at 5. I'm off at 6. I'm off at 7. You can cut it off. You can tell a customer that, book with you another day and then it'll be all right. That shit used to be heartbreaking for me because I wanted the money. I wanted it all. I wanted it all. I wanted it all. I needed it. I come from the hood, so I wanted all the money that was coming in. So that's what we got for burnout. Where am I right now? I'm in Hollandale Beach, Florida. Hollandale Beach. I came down here for the Vote conference. It's been a life-changing conference for me. My buddy David, who's in the other room, he and I met 2021. You see him all over my stories and his stories. You're incredibly intentional about business, and that's commendable. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Well, gotta be passionate, man. Because let's go back to what I was just saying. With me being in survival mode as a barber and just only being about the money, I saw what effect that had on my life. I saw like how it just worked me down to the bottom, hurt my friendships, hurt my family relationships. I mean, even some of my clients, even my body. I was like 300 pounds. I was a 300-pound man. Can you just imagine like your weight, whatever it is now, carrying an extra 100 pounds around, standing all day with that extra 100 pounds, trying to have some sex with the extra 100 pounds. I was lazy buns. What's up? We got more questions, man. Ask me anything. Ask me anything about the barber business, Barber Blueprint book. Thank you. I definitely did come a long way. Thank you. The barber business, Barber Blueprint book, what's happening? And a burning question nobody's asking me is why I haven't been in the shop. That's a burning question. So God has blessed us to have a great team, right? And I'm very thankful for them. Like I was just out on the porch praying and super thankful for the squad. If I weren't able to have trustworthy people with integrity and character, then I wouldn't be able to leave the shop for so long. That's number one. A lot of people think you need, a lot of barber shop owners think you need the most highly skilled people. That's not always the best. You need trustworthy people that believe in your vision, and without them, I wouldn't be able to leave. So why did I leave? Well, to get it mixy with this book, man. I got a book coming out. Well, a book is out. Got an album coming out, and some other opportunities. Going to be doing some things in Austin with these guys. When are you returning back to the shop? That is a good question. So my return to the shop is tentative. I do have a date in mind that we know internally. And I'm going to keep that secret because I kind of just want to pop up. And even when I pop up, it may not be to be full time behind the chair. We got any more questions? What else? Well, you seem to be full of questions yesterday, Luke. What you got? All right. So I would say around 30. Around 30. So I had been running and going. So I did some time, Lucas. I don't know if I ever told you that. So when I came back home, I lived in my grandmother's attic. The first order of business was get out the attic, be on the road, get out the attic, get a place. Once I got the place and I was like living on my own for a while, I kind of seen like I was going around the same rat race of just work, pay bills, work, pay bills, work, pay bills. And I knew I couldn't go far like that. CD sales started slowing up too, because I was selling a ton of mixtapes back then. So this is 2012. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to go to the next level, man. I really didn't want to open up my own shop because I knew I just wasn't ready for leadership yet. So I tried to do a partnership situation. Okay. And then even with the partnership situation, I learned, man, a gang from that. My God, I share a lot of jewels that I learned from that in the book. But I went into a partnership situation because I wasn't fully able to jump off the cliff. And I didn't gain like it wasn't profitable for me as an owner. And I didn't have an opportunity to lead and drive. Like all of the things that people have seen with, this current shop, people weren't able to see that level of execution with the partnership shop. So around 30 was the time where I decided to dip my foot in the water, but go solo was 2015.
So you dipped your foot in the water
and spent another 4 years as a barber. Really, just saying I had a shop, putting the cart before the horse. Any more questions? Let's go. Let's fire these questions. Damn, I had mad questions in my notes that I don't even remember, man. I can't read my notes while I'm live on the gram, though, unfortunately. People did submit questions. Let's see if we get the YouTube back going. I don't know what the hell is going on with my laptop. I wanted to go simultaneously live on YouTube and Instagram at the same time. Questions, Barber Blueprint questions. Let's go, Q&A. This is Q&A. You can ask me anything. It doesn't necessarily, let's keep it, a business-related question.
So is Buffalo diverse community?
Yeah, it's diverse.
So how do you like keep up with these clients?
So, it's funny that you asked this. So if we were doing score of 1 to 7 on me keeping in touch with my clients, I would give it a 4. Okay. I would give it a solid 4. Because I will stay in touch with some people more than others. When I have a slow time, I'm staying in touch with them. Like I'm reaching out, warm text, warm call. When when I want to just spread a message fast, then, we have newsletters that we send out. They get 30% open rate, which is, I'd say, pretty good for this time with emails, because I'm bad at checking emails. We get flooded with a lot of emails. Can you toss me the vape? I'm gonna, sorry guys, I wanted to keep this professional, but I'm just waking up, man, after partying down here in Florida all night, man. These clubs are crazy. Every like 20 minutes, you got 20 naked women dancing on the bar and juggling fire, and it's just with lights going and everything. And this is a family show, sir. Yeah, no, it wasn't a family show last night. And you know what's crazy? As much ass that was in there last night, Yeah, I was looking around thinking like, yo, I wonder how much this place makes a night. I was looking at the owner, looking at the surveillance cameras, looking at the bartenders, like how everything was moving. This is a lead operation. And even when we left, there was a line of people coming in. Like, this shit was rocking.
I haven't been inside, but I was only outside picking up one. It's so packed. Sold out. I was having a better game at 11 on the freaking sidewalk than over here.
Barber questions, man. Let's go. Hit. What time we got? Because we got.
I have a question. All
right, what's up?
What are the three biggest? Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good?
Oh, no.
There you go.
I was just asking, what are the three biggest blockers that keep barbers from scaling to growing? Because I'm sure a lot of barbers think, well, I'd like to have my own barbershop someday. And I'm sure you guys have big dreams and aspirations. So, Aaron, what are some of those biggest blockers?
Biggest blockers. Okay, so I'd say one of the biggest blockers is that these motherfuckers don't be learning about how to run a business, man. They street, and this is no disrespect, because this was me. I was this guy, so I'm not, respectfully. They ain't learning how to run a business and build a team, man. They just look at it as a hustle. Too many barbers in this industry look at this thing as like something I kind of do on the side. We got a lot of journeymen. Oh, I got laid off. Let me learn how to cut. Oh, my pizza delivery career slowed down. I'm going to learn how to cut hair. Whereas, like, and even just because you have a following of people and you are a barber and you do a lot of people doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be a successful owner of a shop. And respectfully, I've seen guys I was super proud of, man. Like, leave me and go open up their own. And man, it didn't really work out. One guy that was an intern for me, I'll tell you a funny story. So in 2017, I decided I'm gonna start reading books because, like, I opened the shop in 16. I seen how it was going. I didn't want my shop to be like any of the shops that I worked in. I knew I had to make it better. I'm like, I'm gonna start reading books. I ordered the E-Myth, and I opened it up. There was an intern in there while I had the E-Myth in the barbershop, right? Now, I don't have a chance to read the book because, I'm doing clients. I'm still like full barber mode. He reads the book and goes to open up his own shop. It's still open. There were some barbers that were with the squad. I don't like to read. I don't like audio. I don't like this. I don't like you notice people just be having like the limiting beliefs. Like you ever see people have these self-fulfilling prophecies of like limits. Like, yo, I don't like that. I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to do that. You can't be saying shit like that, man. Just go try to open up a shop. Like, I'm going to do it my way without the knowledge from a mentor, without really learning the operations and systems, how it works. Not reading and improving, constantly reinventing, and then it just crash and burn. I would say, I mean, not even just the barber game. You got salons, massage people, fitness trainers, a lot of people that are just operating their life like that, where they aren't trying to go to the next level or do what it takes. There's going to be some sacrifice when you want to go to the next level and make more money. You got to create a new version of yourself. You can't be the same person that you were in 2014 and think you're going to just level up to 2024. It just don't work like that. Thanks. That was a really good question. I could be long-winded with these answers too, man. Hope you guys are picking the jewels and getting some value from it. I see we got MJ in here. What's up, MJ? Fire off a question. I know you have one. This is the Q&A. Let's go. What we got? All right, while we wait on her question, I'll take another question from David Reads Fast.
So, Aaron, what are the important traits of character or skill? Let's say 3 that a barber needs to have. That you're saying, hey, I see that guy going some places. He could be rich. He could open a barber shop tomorrow if he wanted.
3 traits and skills.
Yeah, you do 3 each if you want.
Okay, all right, cool. You got to have the ability. You got to have the. I'll get to your question in a second, MJ. So you got to have the ability. I would say first you got to have long-term vision. 2, you have to be able to communicate with people. And 3, all right, communicate people / lead. You got to be able to lead. You got to have some leadership skills. And then 3 would be, the ability to like always compete with who you were yesterday. Don't compete with the other shops. Do not compete with like, Joe's shop down the street or, super fades down the block. Be the best version of you and produce barbers that are the best versions of themselves. Let's hear about your motivation to write the book. So I talked a little bit about that in the beginning, MJ, but I'll bring it back around. My motivation to write the book was, and it's funny, this answer will probably be different than the first answer. Internally, we've been doing operations manuals. It's been like breaking down like all the technical like stuff that we need to do, our systems and our operations. And I realized like I had never been in a barbershop that had anything like that. If I had my book 20 years ago, trust me, you wouldn't be looking at Florida in the background. You might be looking at Dubai in the background. You know what I'm saying? We'd have been like on a whole nother level. I just wanted to really like express creativity as an author, offer value to the up and coming class, and just contribute to this industry in a way that goes beyond my barbershop and my community. We got any more questions? Any more questions? Ask me anything. Ask me anything. Q&A. Q&A.
You've been in the industry for what, 20 plus years? Over 2 decades?
Yep.
The barber industry, how has it changed over time, and how has it affected you throughout the time?
Okay, so how has it changed over time? It has evolved to where nowadays there are more opportunities for barbers to create revenue. To create revenue outside of just cutting behind the chair or owning a shop or several shops. Barbers are making products. Barbers are getting, what is the deal when people, the spokesman, like if a big company come to me and wants me to, what is that called? Spokesman, right? Spokesperson?
Oh yeah, when they
brand deals and things like that. One of the things that has evolved for sure, like within my community and my city, is the amount of barber schools that are popping up. Barbers are a lot more career-driven and professional than they were when I came in. Like I said earlier, a lot of people look at barbers as like a side hustle and just kind of loosey-goosey, not really business-minded. You have a lot of people coming into the industry now that see a career path to the end. Now, a lot of us don't really know what's at the end of the life cycle with retirement. I believe that is a blue ocean for myself and some others to attack. But they're coming in a lot more focused, a lot more driven, and they're looking at it, a lot more structured. When is Fade in Full going to franchise? Well, we'll see. I believe we have all the tools in our toolbox to be able to do it. Building the right team to do it, choosing the right location to do it, and finding the capital to do it. I think that's a simple thing. What book was your biggest inspiration or changed your life / mindset? That is a very good question. Oh man. Book that changed my mindset. I would say probably Outwitting the Devil is one of those books by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon, yeah. I went in The Devil, Napoleon Hill. I'll do a top 5. Money Master the Game, Tony Robbins. Contagious by Jonah Berger, which is a marketing book. And then you got, so that was 3.